Every day, humans interact with some form of artificial intelligence, but could AI actually violate our human rights?
All right, some world leaders are already sounding the alarm.
Facebook now says it will take down some spots organizing protests against stay-at-home orders. A spokesperson says they violate social distancing guidelines. Now, the site will take down posts in its events feature promoting protest.
We often think of artificial intelligence as a revolutionary tool, one that can streamline processes, reduce human error, and save time. But behind its promises of efficiency lies a growing concern. AI, when misapplied, can infringe on some of our most fundamental human rights. This isn't science fiction. It's happening now, often without our knowledge or consent. Surveillance. When security crosses the line, AI-powered surveillance systems are spreading like wildfire, enabling governments and corporations to track individuals at an unprecedented scale. Facial recognition technology, for example, is no longer just for unlocking phones. In many parts of the world, entire neighborhoods and public spaces are monitored 24/7. Authorities can identify who attended a protest, who frequents certain areas, and who associates with whom. Marginalized communities are often hit the hardest, as AI systems trained on biased data amplify existing inequalities. Even at border checkpoints, travelers face scrutiny based on appearances, raising serious questions about fairness and dignity. The promise of security often masks the erosion of privacy and equality. Universities, learning in the shadow of AI. In academic institutions, AI tools monitor social media for student posts, protests, and activism. While schools may claim this is to ensure safety, it stifles open dialogue. Students feel watched, fearing that a harmless comment could be misinterpreted and lead to repercussions. This chilling effect on free expression undermines the very essence of academic freedom and civic engagement. Predictive policing. Reinforcing biased law enforcement agencies are turning to predictive policing tools to allocate resources more effectively.
Surveillance in China. Facial recognition to fight crime. Computers advising doctors, and Fortune 500 companies using algorithms to vet job applicants. Artificial intelligence is getting personal, but misusing it could do serious harm.
On paper, this sounds great. Fewer crimes, better safety. But in reality, these systems rely on flawed data, leading to over-policing in certain neighborhoods that have historically faced discrimination. Instead of breaking cycles of mistrust, AI reinforces them, making life harder for already marginalized communities. Healthcare and welfare. When algorithms decide your fate, AI is now influencing who gets access to healthcare, welfare, and social benefits. While the goal is to streamline decisions, algorithms can make cold, calculated judgments that lack human understanding. Vulnerable individuals may be denied life-saving treatments or essential support because an algorithm deemed them less cost-effective. Worse, these decisions are often opaque, leaving people with no way to appeal or understand what went wrong. Migrant monitoring. Humanity reduced to data points. For migrants and refugees, AI has turned their plight into a game of risk assessment. Tracking tools categorize individuals based on perceived risks, often ignoring the human stories behind their journeys. Tightened controls and restrictions become easier to justify when people are treated as numbers instead of humans seeking safety and opportunity. Freedom of expression, silenced by algorithms. Social media platforms rely on AI to moderate content, aiming to curb hate speech and misinformation. But these systems often fail to grasp context, leading to the removal of legitimate discussions about politics, history, or social issues. Journalists, activists, and critics find their voices muted, creating a quieter and less informed public sphere.
Deepfakes, or realistic-looking fake videos and audio, gained popularity as a means of adding famous actresses into porn scenes. Despite bans on major websites, they remain easy to make and find. They're named for the deep learning artificial intelligence algorithms that make them possible. Input real audio or video of a specific person, the more the better, and the software tries to recognize patterns in speech and movement. Introduce a new element like someone else's face or voice, and a deepfake is born.
It's actually extremely easy to make one of these things. There were just some supposed, breakthroughs from academic researchers who...
Simultaneously, AI enables deepfakes and disinformation campaigns, eroding trust and destabilizing democracies. Economic inequality, a cycle of disadvantage. AI-driven systems in finance and housing exacerbate economic disparities. Credit scoring algorithms assess everything from employment history to online behavior, often discriminating against certain demographic groups. Similarly, housing applications may be denied based on AI evaluations, perpetuating systemic inequalities and keeping vulnerable groups at a disadvantage. The dark side of AI content creation. The rise of AI-generated content has given birth to troubling phenomena like deepfake pornography. Individuals' faces are superimposed onto explicit material without their consent, stripping them of dignity and autonomy.
As technology advances, the scams do too. Experts now warning you can't always trust what you see. Take this case in Florida. The owner of a title company, Lauren Albrecht, was trying to verify the identity of a woman who was selling property.
Margaret?
And luckily caught on.
Even more disturbing, AI is being used to create exploitative content involving minors, a challenge law enforcement struggles to combat. These abuses highlight the urgent need for regulation to prevent such violations.
Hey Mom, hey Dad. It's me, Ella. Well, a digital version of me. Just a bit older. Amazing what technology can do these days, isn't it? And I certainly don't want this.
Human trafficking, AI as a predator's tool. Traffickers are now leveraging AI to groom and manipulate potential victims online. Algorithms analyze social media profiles, identifying vulnerabilities and crafting targeted approaches to lure individuals. This technological twist on exploitation makes it harder for authorities to intervene before harm occurs. The call for oversight and accountability AI itself isn't inherently harmful.
It's not an overstatement to say that AI is a game changer for human rights. Huge amounts of potential, while at the same time, a huge amount of risk. And here we see potential to enhance the right to education, access for people living with disability to education. On the risk front, we see risks to enhance discrimination, things we already see in society that can be taken viral, if you will.
Without transparency and accountability, these systems risk becoming tools of oppression rather than progress. Societies must demand ethical guidelines, stronger regulations, and independent oversight to ensure AI is used responsibly. Transparency is key. AI systems should be designed to explain their decisions, allowing individuals to challenge unfair outcomes. Additionally, legal frameworks must hold developers and deployers accountable for misuse. Oversight bodies comprising technologists, ethicists, and human rights advocates could play a critical role in guiding AI's development. The power of awareness and action. As AI continues to shape our world, we must remain vigilant, question its applications, push for fairness, and support initiatives that prioritize transparency. AI has the potential to improve lives, but only if it's harnessed with care and caution. Otherwise, it risks perpetuating the very injustices it promises to solve. Subscribe for more.